Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my first sit down video and I feel like this is something I'll probably enjoy doing. We'll see how it goes. I saw this tweet somewhere and it said wanting to get better is an intelligent person's way of procrastinating. And it kind of stuck to me because I think I might be in that category of people who will procrastinate stuff because they want to get better. So what this means is you have something you want to do, you're probably even ready to start, but you just feel like, oh, I still need to do more. I still need to get better. I still need to do this. I still need to do that. And before you know it, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years has gone by and you still haven't started, you haven't done anything. So I just thought, that sounds familiar. And I did a little bit of digging deeper and said, there's probably people out there like me. So you fall into that category. This is a sign to start. Procrastination is something that people do even unconsciously. You could be procrastinating and you don't even know that what you're doing is procrastinating until when you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm supposed to have actually done this. I think I've stalled long enough because kind of you're delaying tasks, you're delaying decisions, and this delay, whether you know it or not, may or may not have negative consequences. So this is like a common human behavior. It's not something that is bad or unheard of. And it could cut across ages, professions, decisions, different life decisions at different stages in life. So you're not doing anything wrong. You just need to identify it and then tackle it. So apparently, there's types of procrastination. Yes, they have categories for us. Find out. And the one I read about in the tweet was the avoidance procrastination. And this is when you're avoiding tasks due to fear of failure, trying to be perfect, or having anxiety, or being a little bit indecisive. So it's kind of avoidance. The fear of failing, you're like, oh, I don't want it to flop. I want it to be perfect. I'm going to feel some type of way if it doesn't come out the way it should. And then you feel like you're pushing and pushing and pushing, and you're not starting. This will probably most, be a trait of people who are less spontaneous because we like to dot your I and cross the T's. You're trying to be a bit more perfect before you start off. There's chances that you are procrastinating and you're wasting time, or you're pushing things forward. Then you could just start. And then we have those, of course, who are the opposites of the avoidant procrastinator. They are the arousal procrastinators. So these ones work best under pressure. They're happy to push and wait until it's almost late and then start to, scuffle to get everything done in like really little time. So this is also a kind of procrastination. Even though you might figure out that you still get things done, chances are that if you had gotten what you wanted to get done when you should have gotten it done, you would have had time to do other things. So there's also that kind of procrastination. And I know people that fall into this category. They love to be spontaneous, they love to do things to the last minute, they'll rush and then get it done. I don't know how exciting it is because I'm the opposite of that, but you are procrastinated too. And then there's decisional procrastination, which is putting off decisions to avoid responsibility, to avoid stress. So this is the thing that you need to do here. Or that when you once you do it, everybody will start calling your name, will start asking you questions. It's going to get a little bit overwhelming for you. So you're like, I'll come back to it. I'll come back to it. You're a procrastinator. Wow. Do it. Do it. Let them come to you. Then you work on it. The stress will get to you. Then you work on it and then you actually get better results in good time other than actually pushing things around and wasting more. I feel like I'll come back to this video someday and it will creep me out because I don't like the sound of my voice. Are there causes of procrastination? Yep. There's factors that can contribute to you being a procrastinator. And let's look at some of those as well. Okay. The fear of failure or judgment. Because, of course, that kind of explains itself, You don't want to fail. You don't want it to flop. You're scared of kind of judgments that you get. You don't want negative feedback. But then the thing is, no matter how good you do it, anybody can fail and everybody gets judged anyway. So, that fear it's not going to help. It's not valid. And there's, of course, trying to be perfectionist. That's also a cause of, procrastination. You're trying to dot your I's and cross your T's. You want it to be perfect. You don't want to look back and see that, oh, I could have done this differently or I should have changed that. Well, that's a good thing to do. When you make mistakes, it kind of actually helps you to get better. So it's okay if it's not perfect. Still do it, still start, still get into that task, learn as you go. And, by the time you go over it again and again a couple of times, chances are that you will get better. And then there's also this lack of belief as well. That could also be a cause of procrastination when you feel like you're not good enough for the task. For instance, if you're going to go to YouTube, you're like, I don't think my voice sounds great. I don't think my background is nice. I don't think I know what to wear, what to do, how to sit, how to choose, how to do it. There's also that it comes up like, excuses that will come up that makes you feel like you're not capable of completing the task. And because you're leaning into these excuses, into these errors, or, into these points, you're pushing and pushing and pushing and you're stalling. That also will make you a procrastinator. Yeah. I'm not saying you should put out the worst, but then there's hardly anything you put out that doesn't have a worst version somewhere. So if you have, the basics and you feel like, okay, this is good enough to start with, just try, and don't procrastinate. It's not easy, I am a procrastinator myself. I'm not even gonna lie. So it's just when you actually know that you are, you identify the points, you look at how you can get better, and then you start to work on them. That really helps. So, how do we overcome, procrastination or being a procrastinator? What are things you can do to help it? That's all right. We break this down as well. First of all, break a task into smaller pieces to make it less overwhelming. You could start with little bits and pieces like sorting out, minor tasks first. You could break it down like that. The main thing is shooting the video, or the main thing is sewing that dress, or the main thing is finishing off this work. And then you start from the basics. Little by little, you build up. Okay, you want to learn, you want to, maybe write out a list, you want to set a to-do list, you want to tick boxes as you go. And then before you know it, you find out that you are at that final box, and that's all that's left for you to do. Rather than putting everything on hold and you haven't ticked any box in a very long time. And then also giving yourself a break works. For instance, you could do the Pomodoro technique, which is 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of break. So where you just take some time, walk around, breathe in some air, drink water, listen to one song, dance, move your body, distract yourself a little. Don't close the task, you leave it on hold. Then you come back to it. That way you're a bit more refreshed, a bit more focused, and before you know it, you spend 4 or 5 hours doing this thing, and you find out that you've gone a pretty long way with it. So also setting specific goals and deadlines is really helpful. So if you say, okay, this month, this is what I want to achieve, and I want to achieve it by the end of the month, then you can break down those goals into, first of all, I need to do this, and then I need to do this, and then I need to do this, and then you start ticking them off one by one. By the end of the month, chances are that you would have achieved what you set out to achieve. Other than saying, oh, I will start soon, and then by the middle of the month you haven't done anything, and by the end of the month you kind of probably also haven't done anything. So if you have tasks, if you have goals, it's better for you to break them down, then set them into goals, give yourself a deadline, and start ticking them off one by one. It doesn't mean that you will always meet your deadline, but at least you will start, and you will inspire yourself as you keep pushing to get better until you actually meet your goal. And then eliminate distractions. Yes, distractions, they steal your time. Phones, social media, idle talk, whatever your distraction is, they steal your time. For instance, phones. Phones, you need to time yourself with your phone. And that's something I've come to realize now. Because the content that you consume shapes your mind consciously or unconsciously. So you actually want to tailor that into something that makes you a better person or puts you in a better position to achieve your goals. So you don't want to be a tailor and then you are consuming only content from like food bloggers. I'm not saying you wouldn't listen to food bloggers, but that's, you are looking at your feed and there's nothing about sewing tricks and tips. There's nothing, just maybe makeup and all of that. It's good for the creators, but it's not the best for you. You can have a mix of everything and you still, limit that as well. Even in that, you limit your time, you discipline yourself. Because I also learned that everything you want is on the other side of discipline. That also you need to learn to appreciate yourself, to practice self-compassion. Look at what you've done, look at what you've achieved, and never see it as being too small or not enough. When you look at that little table you look at what you have on that table, you should give yourself, some kudos for what you've done. Also visualize success and consequences. So what this means is, you motivate yourself by looking at what happens if you succeed and what happens if you don't even try. So you want to do something and you're not sure if it's worth it, if you should do it. You could look at, okay, what's going to happen if I actually do it? What's the success story going to be like? Well, if I actually do it, I could achieve this, I could get this, I will feel better, I will, see results, I will test run my idea, get feedback. Or if I don't do it, nothing happens. So I do hope you enjoyed my video. It's like my first official sit down video. Please don't forget to like the video, comment and share and subscribe. Yeah. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Thank you.